is a very special day here on Welcome to Our Community as I get a chance to introduce you all to some very special guests. Mrs. Cindy Green, the niece of the late Second Lieutenant Marion Dawn McDonald Zipperer. Seated next to her is Sylvain Ducrot, a French historian and World War II reenactor. So seated next to him is the French Honorary Consul here in Savannah, Valerie Granzeau, who will serve as his interpreter. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Well, let's start with you, Mrs. Green. I mean, this is just certainly an amazing thing that has happened. We're going to bring our viewing audience up to speed. This is all about your uncle. Tell us about your uncle and what you knew about him before now.
So growing up, we really didn't know anything about him. We knew that he was in World War II, that his plane crashed, that from the initial reports, he crashed in Italy. Didn't survive. Our grandparents never talked about him, so we really didn't know anything other than the portrait on the wall, and we knew he had a Purple Heart.
Along comes this wonderful stranger, Mr. Ducrot, in France, who was researching the World War II, and you decided to go to some of those areas that were less known to find out what happened there.
Et donc, arrive cet étranger en France.
Oui, donc je suis tombé par hasard sur le...
By chance, he fell on the story. He discovered the story of Marion McDonald Zipperer in the papers of the French police that recorded the crash. And that's where the stories began.
So when he got to the village where all this took place, he was able to meet some people who were actual witnesses to the plane going down, right? What was that like?
Donc, quand vous êtes...
m'a raconté après qu'il avait vu l'avion se crasher.
He said by chance also a friend of his who was a former resistance fighter in World War II said to him that he saw the plane crash.
Wow. What did he tell you about what he witnessed?
Donc il m'a expliqué qu'il avait vu 4 avions voler au-dessus.
He said he saw 4 planes above him, and one of the planes was making an unusually disturbing sound and was starting to lose altitude. And a few moments later, he saw a big rush of smoke where the plane had crashed.
So, Mr. Ducrot, how did you feel hearing all this from several witnesses, especially with you being so invested with World War II as a reenactor?
Pour moi, c'est très, très important.
Says for me, it's very important, and for me, it's an honor to work on this and to pay my respects to all the soldiers, American soldiers, who came to liberate our country.
What was it like when you got that call?
So it was Memorial Day last year, 24, and we were having a family get together, and the email from my cousin Ben came across. I read it. I was like in shock.
Of course.
And so I got the family together and I read it to them. Sorry.
That's okay.
To go so many years, and now we know something.
Yes. This is like that missing piece of the puzzle for
Yes.
you all.
Yes.
How do you feel about this man who dedicated so much of his time? He didn't have to do this to learn about a perfect stranger and then to make sure that you all got the word.
Yeah. I admire him so much. I love him as a family member. He is part of our family now because he brought Don to us.
La fin de l'histoire, qu'ils puissent comprendre ce qui s'est passé.
I was able to bring them the end or the closure that they needed.
Well, we appreciate all that hard work you did. You also went one step further and made sure that you invited them to be a part of that commemoration last year.
Je suis très content d'avoir pu inviter la famille à venir.
It was very, very important for me to invite them for what I thought would be a small ceremony, but it eventually became much bigger, and it was very important to invite the family to attend.
What was it like when you all finally met in person? Because you've been talking to this person over the phone and through emails, but to put you two together.
D'avoir pu les rencontrer, et c'est vraiment une grande histoire.
It was a great moment of joy when
you all must have been emotional just knowing that you were going and actually getting there in France and meeting this man who had done so much for your family.
Yes, it was very emotional. You know, it was also intriguing and kind of scary at the same time because He had surprises for us
Yeah.
too. So not knowing what all to expect. And then, the whole visit with the different things that he set up for us. Surprises, like I said, meeting with gentlemen that actually witnessed my uncle's plane crash. And that in itself, knowing what they went through and how important it was for the Americans to help them. It gave us greater appreciation for what our soldiers and airmen did.
There was more of like a commemoration. So now, no one will forget your uncle's name in that village in France.
That's right. He set up a really nice ceremony. He invited the 52nd Honor Guard with the Air Force. They're stationed out of Germany, and they took part in the ceremony. They did the folding of the flags, one for me and one for my brother Steve. In the little village square where their World War I, World War II monument is, they put up, he had put up a plaque talking about my uncle with the pictures and all that. So everyone there now knows who the gentleman was.
I just can't even imagine how, even to this day, how this makes you feel. What an honor. And you're already proud of this real hero, but to know now that we're telling the story in America, but also his story was actually told even bigger in France first.
Yes.
You all also made recently a donation to the Mighty 8th Air Force Museum. Your family did, as well as Mr. DeCrow. Start with what you all did.
So before my uncle left to go overseas, he sent home all of his papers and things like that. My grandparents had kept all the letters that he had written back. And so all of those now have been given to the Mighty 8th, to their Research and Collections Department, so that future generations can learn about him. They can learn about World War II going forward. So it's a great honor for us to be able to give it to the Mighty 8th and to help keep his memory alive, and also know that these documents are protected for a very long time.
Mr. DeCrow, just tell me this, your visit to America, you also made a big donation to the museum. Could you tell us about that?
Et les pièces d'avion du P-47, donc du second lieutenant Zipper.
So these are some parts of the plane that were gathered and collected on the crash site. And for me, it was the best that they came back to Savannah, where he was from.